Hey guys, what's up? Cardtalker here, and today I'm here with a Genesis Revelation deck profile. So I'm just going to go over this deck really quick. I'm just going to introduce the new cards because I've made a Fenrir deck previously, except that was a Regalia hybrid. But since Fenrir got a lot of support on his own, we can just build a Fenrir deck now. So that's pretty cool. So for the starting Vanguard, we're running Ban. Ban is the new starting Vanguard from GB08, and his skill is, when this card is rested by one of your card effects, you can choose one of your units and it gets plus 2000 power. It actually comes in pretty handy, but I'll explain that a bit later. So his second skill is Generous Trick 1, move this card into Soul. When you draft trick a normal unit, you can pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. So he's mainly here because even when he's rested, with the Revelation ability, he can still do something. And he can help your 9Ks become 11Ks, so that's pretty useful sometimes. For the grade 3s, we're running for Fenrir, so I'm not going to get into too much about him because he's an old card. But most of the time you're going to want to ride into him. Unlike her, you don't want to ride into Zola. Zola is a new rare from GB08, and her skill is, she has the Revelation skill on both Vanguard and Rearguard Circle, so when you call her into Vanguard Rearguard Circle, you can activate Revelation. And her second skill is Vanguard Rearguard Circle. Once per turn, Generous Trick 1, Soul Blast 3 normal units, and then during this turn, this card gets plus 5000 power, and if this card's on the Vanguard Circle, you can draw a card. Not a very good skill on the Vanguard Circle, but on Rearguard Circle, you're pretty much giving her an extra 5000 power just by paying the cost, and Soul Blasting is not really a big deal in this deck. So her being able to hit for 16 by herself is actually pretty good, especially since this deck runs a lot of stands. You can be very threatening later on. Alright, grade 2 is running 3 Slipheed. He's only here for the draws. The soul charges sort of help sometimes, but most of the time you want it for the draw, because soul charging isn't really a problem most of the time. Next, we are running for Gyal. Gyalu. I think his name is Gyal. Whatever. So he has the Vanguard. He has a Revelation skill on the Rearguard Circle, and his second skill is Generous Trick 1, Countless 1. When this card is placed on a Rearguard Circle, if you're a Fenrir Vanguard, then you pay the cost. If you do, this card gets plus 4000 power and a new skill, and that new skill is on a Rearguard Circle, Soul Blast 3. When this card attacks, you can pay for the cost. If you do, draw a card. So he also helps you draw, and he's 13 by himself, so not bad. This deck actually has some pretty decent draw cards. So there we go. Downside is he's once per turn, so if he restands and attacks again, you can't use it again, but it's fine. If you restand him and he's at 13, he becomes 18 if you put the stand trigger on him, so that's still a 10k guard most of the time. But next we are running for Quota. She also has the Revelation skill, and it activates on the Rearguard Circle also. And her skill is, on your turn, if a card is put into your soul, during this turn, this card gets plus 1000 power, and if it's put into the soul by the Revelation ability, this card gets an extra 1000 power. So this card does stack. Yeah, if you soul charge like some random way with Fenrir or Slipheed, she gets a pretty high power, but if you put it into your soul with Revelation, you still get power. So overall, she's just very good at gaining power, which is very nice for the deck, because again, this deck does run a lot of stands. Grade 1s, we're running 4 Gauge, what's his name? Gyalja? Yeah, Gyalja. So he has the Revelation skill on the Rearguard Circle, and he has a skill that activates in the soul, and that skill is, put this card to the bottom of her deck. You can choose one of your Rearguards and stand them. and then they get plus 3000 power. And then if you have the Fenrir Vanguard, you can soul charge 2, and you can choose another one of your units, and it gets plus 3000 power. So overall, he's very good because if you happen to use the Revelation ability, you can just stand it up with it by putting this card back into the deck, and then you're fine to go. You're good to go. And the extra power he gives is also very nice, so it's always a plus. Next, we're running 3 of the old card from GBT04. I don't really like the new Battle Maiden for Genesis because she has to, I think, boost and hit. So I'd rather run this guy who helps you just hit bigger numbers by himself. So whenever a card is moved from your soul to the drop zone, then he gets extra 1000 power, and it does stack. So it's not bad. And then running 3 Shroud Fodders. If you want to run 4 Shroud Fodder, you can take out one of him for extra one, but I think 3/3 is fine. And then running 4 Purple Guard Gs because this deck does use Counterblast, so yeah, Purple Guard Gs. Critical triggers, running 6 critical triggers. If you want to run 2 more stands, then you can take these out for more stands, but I think running the critical triggers just makes the deck have a little bit more pressure when you're attacking with the Vanguard. Simply because if you're running 4 crits and your opponent knows that, a lot of times they're going to just no guard the when they're at 4 damage because they think that the odds of them dying is not very high. So running 4 of this stand. This stand is still much better than this stand in my opinion. This stand is not bad, but it's just not as good as this stand. I'll explain. You guys know what he does. At the end of turn, you can put this card back to the top. Put this card back in your deck to put your drop zone back into your deck, and then if shuffle it, and then if you have 10 or more cards are put, then you can draw a card. So this card's really good because since you soul charge a lot with this deck, you can basically compress your deck into for it to have mostly triggers. So if you always if you're soul blasting for your cost, then you mainly you're gonna target your triggers first. So your triggers are gonna stack up in your drop zone, and then you use this card skill to put your triggers back into your deck. Well, put your whole drop zone back into your deck. But if it's gonna be mostly triggers, then your deck is gonna keep getting compressed until it's like mostly triggers. So most of your drive checks will be triggers, and yeah. If this guy gets soul charge, you can just soul blast it out with Fenrir. I mean, soul blast it out and then use Fenrir's skill to call this card out, so that you can at the end of the turn this card will go back to your deck to use a skill. So always keep one of these in your soul if you can, because he's very handy. So what this other stand does is it has a Revelation ability, and then the Generous Trick 1 ability is when this card is put to the when this card is put from the soul to the drop zone, you can put this card back into the bottom of your deck, and then if you do choose one of your Rearguards and stand it. So basically she also acts as a stand trigger, so she's actually pretty good, but I still want to run extra criticals instead, just because again it puts a bit more pressure. Attacking when you're with your Rearguards is good, but again, yeah. You could go 3/3 if you want, but I think running 4 of him is more important because he just prevents you from decking out. And then running 4 heals because heals are heals. And let's move on to the G zone. Oops, I forgot to change something. Whoops. So we are running. Oh, let's move on to do the normal units first, or the normal strat units first. So running 2 Doombringer, just simply to help you hit numbers. Again, this deck does run a lot of stands, so giving your rearguards a lot of power and being able to stand and attack with them again is pretty good. Running 2 Fenrir. Fenrir is obviously the new strat for the deck, and his skill is transfer 2. All your rearguards revelation ability changes to this new skill, and the new skill is when this unit is placed on a rearguard circle, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck. If you do, put one of them into your soul and then put the rest back to the top of your deck. So you can pretty much quote unquote stack your triggers. And then his second skill is Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 3, draw a card. If you don't draw a card, you can put the top card of your deck into your soul, and then choose one of your rearguards, and it gets plus 3,000 power. So basically, if both of the cards you look at are normal units, then, or a unit that you don't want, you can just use the second skill to either put it to your hand or put it in your soul. Depends on which one is more useful. It's pretty good. So next, running 4 Vanguard helps you stack your drive checks, so that's nice. Running 1 of this guy, he's from Fighter Selection. Skill is once per turn, Soul Blast 3. Look at the top card of your deck, either put it to the top or bottom, and then this card gets a new skill. And the new skill is when this card drive checks a grade 1 or above card, you may solo charge 3. So he helps you get those initial solo charges. He's pretty good as a first stride. Also running 1 of her. She also helps you for your first stride. It depends on which one you want to use first, but I don't know, most of the time I've been using him. But if you want to pressure your opponent and you think your opponent's going to guard, then you might want to use her just to troll your opponent. Yeah. Alright, so next we are running 2 of the new G Guardian. So if this card's placed in a Guardian circle and you have a Rearguard with the same name as a card in your soul, then this card gets plus 10,000 power, so it becomes a 25k card. But sometimes you don't always have that, so we're running Screw just in case. You can run Dismal instead to protect your Slip Heed, but a lot of times I don't tend to need to protect my Rearguards, since they're just gonna, if it's a Revelation Rearguard, I'm probably just gonna intercept with it and then call a new one out to use Revelation again. Also, I forgot I'm running Sea Breeze. You don't have to run this, but it's nicer if you do, I guess. And running 2 of the Fighter Selection G-Guard. This G-Guard is actually pretty strong. It's a very, very useful G-Guard for the deck. Skill is when this guy's placed in a Guardian circle, you can choose 3 cards in your drop zone and then put it back into your soul. If 3 cards were put, then this card gets extra 5,000 power for shield, extra 5,000 shield, so it becomes a 20k guard. You can use this, put useful cards back in your soul, like the stand trigger or the grade 1. For some reason, if you died instead of being used as a skill, then, or you just soul blast them normally, then you can just put it back into it and back to your soul with her skill. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. It's a very fun deck. I don't know, it feels very flavorful, like with Revelation and stuff. So I like it. It's not my favorite deck in this set, but I guess it's pretty awesome. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is Cardfight, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.